Coming up.
Mkhwanazi had no constitutional mandate to, number one, to disband the PKTT in KwaZulu-Natal. Number two, Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to Allegedly Family. I want us to talk about today's Madlanga Commission, okay? We must talk about the scandal that shook the very foundations of this policing forum in South Africa. I'll say a forum because the things that are happening are just outrageously shocking, okay? Don't forget, Minister Mchunu's decision to disband the Provincial Political Killings Task Team, I'll always say PKTT, from today, is actually not just questionable. It's not just the questionable call, my people. And the lady that was here today, the Major General, has confirmed that it is a constitutional crisis. So today at the Madlanga Commission, the SAPS head of legal didn't mince her words. The minister acted without mandate. That's exactly what it means. And I want us to literally go deeper into what actually happened, okay? So when the legal head of South African Police Service actually spoke out publicly today, she slammed a sitting police minister, well, I will say a suspended police minister, because now he's at home. He's still a minister, yes, but he's at home enjoying his time, receiving his salary and having everything that has to do with the benefits. The blue lights are still there, my people. Even when he's not working, unfortunately, the country must pay attention to this. And she said some very important things. So when she was testifying, right, about what actually has been happening, she has now directly questioned the legality and the motives. And she has even gone beyond to even say the constitutional basis of why Minister Senzo Mchunu made this shocking decision to actually disband the Political Killings Task Team. Yes, you heard me right. This, my people, was definitely not an ordinary task team. This team was formed after years of bloodshed in KZN. We spoke about this. I spoke about the Madlanga Commission. You may view a video that I made about the Madlanga Commission and how the Political Killings Task Team actually came to being. This was where political assassinations had literally become a huge routine as an election rally. And the PKTT actually became the Jesus. If I may shorten it, there was sin in the world and Jesus came. It was literally the heart of investigating high-profile killings. These high-profile killings, unfortunately, involved councillors, it involved traditional leaders, it even continues to involve senior ANC figures to date. So back in 2018, my people, then acting KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi happened to be part of the people that built this task team, right, into this formidable prosecutorial strategy. One that led to a lot of record arrests and convictions in political murder cases. This is a good thing. This is Jesus Christ, the Savior, okay? To abruptly have to now shut down such a body is something that is very controversial. It is not just controversial only, my people, but today, our Major General actually confirmed that it's also unlawful. Here's the heart of the scandal, and I want you to understand who holds this mandate. So according to the SAPS head of legal, Mkhwanazi had no constitutional mandate to, number one, to disband the PKTT in KwaZulu-Natal. Number two, he had no constitutional mandate to freeze key crime intelligence vacancies. So there are vacancies that he had frozen. She did not specify which level of the vacancies they were, what they were looking for, because she also did not have the information in particular, but she does know of this, okay? The third thing was that she had issues that he had no constitutional mandate to do what? To transfer sensitive political killings dockets from KZN to Gauteng without due process. This is unconstitutional. It is unlawful. And we all know anything that is unconstitutional and unlawful is what? It is a crime. And if you commit a crime, what do? You go to jail. But guess what? Minister Senzo Mchunu is still not in jail. He is not in orange overalls. I saw him in brown the other day, but they're not orange and he's still free. So no, doesn't matter. So now, here is the constitutional kicker, okay? So under section 207 of the Constitution, the power to appoint, listen well, so you understand why this is important. The power to appoint and the power to restructure police operation does not rest with the minister, my people, because these are day-to-day operations. They rest with the National Police Commissioner, not the minister. So how does the same minister have the right to freeze key crime intelligence vacancies? Now, if we are talking about political interference, this is beyond political interference. This is literally a crime, a huge crime that I can't even begin to describe, okay? So now the minister may guide policy because that is what he is supposed to do. He is a guider of policy. He creates policy, he guides policy, he gives strategy, but he does not give you the how of how to do it. He just wants the result, basically. But he cannot issue an operational directive, my people. Yet, on the 31st of December 2014, Mkhwanazi is allegedly said to have signed a letter that did exactly that, which is what we know to date. We know this is what we have been talking about, and that's why this commission had been created, okay? Now, the National Commissioner, Fanny Masemola, actually complied with the order. However, listen, my people, but the legal experts, right, are now arguing together with this woman that came today, the Major General. They are literally saying, no. Wait a minute. We must argue that obedience to an unlawful directive itself actually renders the compliance unlawful, because you cannot accept to do something that is unlawful to make it lawful. If it is unlawful and you have done it, it is still unlawful. In actual fact, if it was not the president saying no one is going to jail, in actual fact, at this point, the National Police Commissioner should also be going to jail, because what do you mean? How do you agree to do something that is unlawful and comply to it, Now, allegedly, my people, this echoes a principle. The principle is the Nuremberg principle. What it says is no one may hide behind authority when carrying out an illegal instruction. So no one is allowed to make it seem like they're not part of it because it's illegal. No, the instruction has been given, right, by authority, but it is illegal. But you cannot hide behind the illegalities by saying, I did not know, it was an instruction that I was given. No, that cannot work. So now we have a shocking revelation where dockets and this underworld links are actually going on. The commission has also today heard, my people, that critical dockets, which are politically sensitive murder cases, were actually quietly moved from KZN to Gauteng. This, the legal head actually argued, was very unconstitutional. Provincial commissioners are supposed to negotiate such transfers, and yet the Deputy National Commissioner, Mr. Sibiya, allegedly pushed them through without consultation. Why were these cases moved? Suspicions have swirled around Mkhwanazi's own alleged communication with the underworld figures. It is this shadowy network of influence that makes it a problem. There are whispers of phone calls and political deals and assassinations, my people. That actually triggered to the commission itself, like we know. But now we have an oversight, okay, that has literally bodied this crisis. So the testimony also actually ripped into the failures of South Africa's so-called watchdogs. This is basically referred to as the IPID, the Independent Police Investigative Directorate. This is a watchdog that is sitting on an eye-watering 40,000 unresolved cases, my people. And the IPID has been unable to exercise its oversight role effectively because of the large amount of work. What I want you to understand is 40,000 unresolved cases actually go deeper into just being cases, but being individuals or being traumatic experiences that may have happened to South Africans that have never ever found answers to the things that have happened to them. Those are 40,000 cases of no consequence, 40,000 cases that tell the people who are perpetrators to continue doing it. That on its own is a staggering and very shocking revelation to know. They unfortunately have been unable to exercise its oversight role effectively, and this allowed unlawful instructions. Unfortunately, it also happened to have allowed political interference and a very rogue policing decision to slip through unchecked in actual fact. So now there is a historical pattern that I want you to just quickly look at, okay? There is a very, very systematic political interference factor when it comes to policing. This is not the first time South Africa has actually had a police minister accused of such overreach. If you do remember prior, Begicele was actually also linked to a cartel protection situation or saga. There were claims when it comes to that cartel, and a video I will create on its own. There was Nathi Nhleko, if you remember, the man who oversaw the Nkandla saga. There was also Fikile Mbalula, who also faced allegations of cozy ties with the Guptas. So now, my people, Mkhwanazi's name is adding to this list, this long list of ministers that are being accused of turning SAPS into this political battlefield. And why does this matter? Because, I would not be creating this video now. It matters because disbanding the PKTT, our Jesus, actually is said to undermine one of the few units that are making progress against political killings in South Africa's most volatile province, okay? Analysts have actually also argued that this move risks embodying emboldening hitmen. It will tell them we must continue because now this one Jesus that sent to save the world has now been killed, has died on the cross. Sorry. An oversight of bodies and, is going to definitely collapse under pressure because we're now going to be using conventional policing, which has proven to not necessarily work for us. Now, the rule of law itself is just literally going to be assassinated. Now, I would love to hear what you think about this particular thing. So I just want you to know there's a chilling picture. There is a high-performing task team that is shut down without consultation. There are dockets that actually vanish across provinces. There is a national commissioner that complies with an unlawful directive, although he also says, in actual fact, he was listening to the directive and he did not partially accept. We'll talk about that later. There's oversight bodies that are actually crippled with 40,000 unresolved cases. And there are whispers of underworld influence that actually swirl around the very minister that is meant to uphold the rule of law. So now, my people, what we are witnessing is not just the disbandment of the task team, but the disbandment of accountability itself. From Mkhunu to Masimula, from Sibiya to IPID, the entire chain of command is on trial. And I wonder what's going to happen. The question South Africans always must ask themselves, because we always have a question to ask ourselves after every single episode, is if the law can be bent at the top, who protects us at the bottom? I love you, my people. Until next time, bye.